The gym smelled of sweat, metal, and determination. Dumbbells clanked, treadmills hummed, and the rhythmic pounding of jump ropes filled the air. At the far end, under the flickering fluorescent lights, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson gripped a loaded barbell, his muscles tensed as he powered through another set. As he exhaled, shaking the burn from his arms, something caught his eye. Before we continue this story, let us know where you're watching from. If you enjoy stories like this, subscribe to the channel, because tomorrow we have another special story for you. A man, tall, broad-shouldered, yet slouched, mopping the gym floor. His movements were slow, mechanical. He wasn't just cleaning, he was lost in the routine, as if nothing else in the world existed. Marcus Reynolds. The name echoed in the Rock's memory. He had seen this man before, not here, but on the field, under stadium lights, wearing a jersey with promise stitched into every fiber. A former college football star, a name once whispered in NFL circles. Now, he was just another shadow, a ghost of the athlete he used to be. The Rock wiped the sweat from his forehead and grabbed his water bottle. He had been here before. He had known the sting of lost dreams, of expectations shattered. But Marcus? He wasn't just lost. He looked like he had already given up. The Rock set his water bottle down and walked toward him. Not as a celebrity, not as a superstar, but as someone who understood. "Yo, Marcus," The Rock called out. Marcus froze. His grip tightened around the mop handle before he turned, hesitant, guarded. His eyes met The Rock's. For a moment, something flickered, recognition, maybe even pride. But just as quickly, it was gone. He gave a small nod. "Hey, man." The Rock studied him. His shoulders had caved inward. His once powerful frame looked smaller, like it was carrying a weight that had nothing to do with muscle. The gym pulsed with life around them. But in this moment, it was just the two of them. The Rock tilted his head. "What the hell happened to you, man?" And just like that, Marcus could no longer hide. Marcus tightened his grip on the mop, staring at the ground like the words might be hiding there. The Rock folded his arms, waiting. He had seen that look before, the weight of a past too painful to say out loud. Marcus finally exhaled. "I was supposed to make it," he said quietly. "Back in Miami, they called me the best hands in the game. Then, senior year," he tapped his knee. "One bad play, one torn ACL. Scouts disappeared, no backup plan, just done." The Rock's jaw tightened. He knew that feeling, watching your dreams slip through your fingers. Marcus gestured around the gym. "Coach got me this gig, cleaning the same place I used to train," his voice dropped, "where guys like me used to matter." The Rock shook his head. "Nah." Marcus frowned. "Nah, what?" "I see you," The Rock said. "I see the guy who made impossible catches, who outworked everyone. You lost football, Marcus, but that doesn't mean you lost yourself." Marcus swallowed. No one had said that to him in years. The Rock motioned toward the gym. "So tell me, why are you still here?" Marcus hesitated. He looked around, taking in the weight racks, the punching bags, the squat racks. "I don't know," he muttered. "Guess I never really left." The Rock smirked. "Then stop pretending you did." And just like that, Marcus wasn't just a janitor anymore. He was a man standing at a crossroads. The air in the gym felt heavier now, charged with something new, possibility. Marcus leaned against the mop handle, still unsure. "So what?" You expect me to just wake up and be who I was again? The Rock chuckled. No, man. I expect you to be better. The Rock took a step closer. You still train? Marcus shrugged. A little. Show me. Marcus blinked. Now? The Rock smirked. Unless you're scared. That spark of competition flashed in Marcus's eyes, the same fire that had made him unstoppable years. Ego. He tossed the mop aside and moved toward the weight rack. He started with deadlifts, slow, controlled, powerful. Then squats, then shoulder presses. Each rep pulled something out of him: frustration, regret, hope. The Rock watched, nodding. Your body remembers. You just forgot. Marcus wiped sweat from his forehead, breathing harder than he had in years. All right, the Rock said, cracking his knuckles. Now, let's see if you can still move. He stepped onto the mat and motioned for Marcus to join him. Marcus hesitated. You want me to go one-on-one with you? The Rock grinned. No, man. I want you to prove to yourself that you're still a fighter. Marcus stared at him, then slowly stepped onto the mat. For the first time in years, he wasn't thinking about what he lost. He was thinking about what came next. The gym was silent, except for the sound of deep, steady breathing. Marcus and the Rock stood on the mat, facing each other. The overhead lights cast long shadows across the floor, emphasizing the tension between them, not as rivals, but as two men who knew what it meant to fight for something. Marcus squared his stance. His muscles remembered. The discipline, the focus. It was still there, buried under years of doubt. The Rock moved first. A light tap to Marcus's shoulder, testing him. Marcus didn't flinch. Another move. The Rock feinted, shifting his weight. Marcus reacted instantly. His body moved on instinct, slipping back, adjusting his stance. That's when it hit him. I can still do this. A slow grin spread across the Rock's face. There he is. Marcus exhaled, his heart pounding. Yeah, I guess so. The Rock clapped a hand on his shoulder. You're not done, Marcus. You just forgot what it feels like to fight. Marcus swallowed hard. And now, the Rock nodded toward the gym's entrance. Now, you remind the world who the hell you are. The moment hung between them. Then Marcus did something he hadn't done in a long time. He smiled. A few months later, the lights of a small but packed arena shone brightly. Marcus stood backstage, wrapping his hands, his new training gear crisp and clean. His name was back on the roster. His first match in years was about to begin. In the crowd, The Rock sat quietly, watching. Not as a mentor, not as a superstar, but as a believer. And as Marcus stepped into the ring, his name announced to the roaring crowd. He knew one thing for certain. This wasn't the end. This was his comeback. Have you ever had to rebuild yourself from the ground up? What pushed you to keep going? Tell us in the comments. And if this story inspires you, subscribe now. Because tomorrow we have another powerful one just for you.